Hey, how is everyone doing out there? Are you still mentally awake, or you've already had overload an hour ago? After following that beautiful artistic last presentation, I thought I would begin with something a little bit artistic also, or creative, and also after that way too nice introduction from Lesan, because I didn't do all those things myself, obviously. And Lesan was part of it, but also many people here were part of those things. But I will show you, because other people earlier this morning were taking off their jackets, and I would like to take off this jacket, not because it's not ecological, but it's really warm in here. And this jacket was just made last week in Cairo from organic Egyptian cotton, which I bought on the market myself. And this organic Egyptian cotton is very much thanks to Sechem Ecovillage there, which is very successful. And it was hand sewn, and so it's fair trade and eco. But I have something even more wonderful, because we heard from Karen this morning, that we should think of subsidiarity, which means that if it can be local, it should be local. And this beautiful shirt that I've just received from Lesan Antonia is a product of Grishno Ecovillage, and it's extremely beautiful, and I'll wear it tonight for dinner. So I would like to take the honor of being the last person to speak at this conference, this final conference of this 3-year project, and try to tie things together. So I'm supposed to be speaking on the Baltic Ecovillage network, but actually I will speak about how we tie everything together, I think. Is there anyone here who does not see the imperative of a paradigm shift? I think everyone here, doesn't matter where you're coming from, has heard every speaker almost saying that we have serious problems. We're hitting planetary boundaries. We have to change lifestyle. It has to be quick. We've heard that all day long. And I would like to bring that home to ourselves, to everyone here, that half of the room here is actually people connected to ecovillages, and that we ecovillages have a responsibility to actually be active and change the society around us. And so it's sort of an obligation of us eco-villagers to actually go and change society, work with other people in transition movement to change society. And then the other thought that maybe is even maybe something we don't think about, and also for you, those of you not connected to an eco-village, is that society needs us. We saw the EU is asking for circular economy, that the society needs our assistance, the ecovillage's assistance in this transition process, which is necessary, and that society needs to pay for it. And this is radical. I mean, we was talking about that things have to be changed, and we are sitting on answers, but we feel a little bit powerless on the side. And mainstream society also, who has the resources, is a bit powerless because they don't have the fantasy of how to do the transition. So I'm saying there's an obligation from eco-villagers to actively ask for the resources to help mainstream society transform. And it's the obligation of society to actually see the resources come to us, working with eco-villages, permaculture, and transition to transform society. And this 3-year project that is now finishing has given us some tools, and unfortunately, I must say, the project is shorter than the task. And we have we've just heard today, some of the tools haven't even been printed yet, and the project is finished, or finishing in a few months, and we didn't get a chance to use those tools to transform society. So really, we need to do something, we need to go on, and we can't quit now. Now let's see if I can get this to work there. So why would we create Ben? the Baltic Ecovillage network. And we have discussions, was it even part of this project? And it's basically been created on the sidelines of this project. Some of us thought this project is not going to be able to deliver really what it should, because it will finish before the job gets done. And I think that's what we see now. And now we have something that is created called Baltic Ecovillage Network that can continue on and take some of the fantastic tools that have been developed in the last 3 years and actually get them in use to transform the society in the Baltic Sea region. So we created this to exchange experience between the Ecovillage movement in a similar climate zone. A lot of the materials, as Artus was saying, you know, they're freely available in the UK, but here in the Baltic Sea region, we don't have things maybe appropriate for us. We talked about joint funding applications. We talked about we need a way to support the development of the national networks. Ulrika mentioned that we really need these national networks to support eco-villages. We need to create more eco-villages. We need national networks to support the eco-villages. And they need also support. So Jen is there, but also Ben is there a little bit closer than Jen to see if we can help the national networks. Then we have to lobby national and European policy for European policy change. And this is also something we do with Jen at the European level, but we can do it with the national networks if they're there. But I think sometimes the national network is in a bad position, and it's nice to have a big brother, Ben, coming to the aid of the national network, saying together with the national network, this is not appropriate. This national law in this country is against sustainable development. You really need to change it, and to get this sort of support of the neighboring countries and participate in the policy process. We're not used to this. We're not used to moving in Brussels or the things that Maxi was telling us about. They were Chinese for most of us, how to work with ministers and foreign ministries and demand change of things, even though, you know, like we heard from Zeg, that there's trouble they're having in having an ecological wastewater treatment system. And this is obviously something we all should be very angry about and say, well, we want to do something about this. We want to change policy there. So what we need now is we need to consolidate the movement. The movement didn't exist 3 years ago. If we look 3 years ago, we had an eco-village organization in Finland and in Estonia. And Denmark is still slightly outside of the picture here. That's what we had in the beginning of this. The Swedish movement had been sleeping and was just waking up. The Russian one was not an organized NGO, and that was about the picture then. Now we're seeing that almost every country in the Baltic Sea region has a national network or is in the process of creating that. If we look at what we have to do, why we should create this macro-regional network, 8 of the 11 Baltic Sea states belong to the European Union. European Union has a lot of regulation. These regulations even influence the neighboring countries. So we want to change EU directives to be supportive for transition. We also have the fact that we use English as our common language. Quite interesting. Every country in the Baltic Sea region has its own language. So we really have to use this lingua franca. And there's a new program coming for new project support. So there's a possibility we could go on with what we're doing now. Eco-villages are continuing to grow in number. There's new ones established, so it hasn't peaked yet, it's continuing. And eco-villages today are much more interested in working together across borders than they were 20 years ago. I think that's so, that people see the value, and also eco-villages themselves have realized that the environmental and climate problems are not local problems or something you can hide from. We have to cooperate to try to for the common good and for our own future, for our children's future. And to keep it together, we need communications, and that's something that Ben is working on. We don't have a traditional contact with each other. At the beginning of this project, we really didn't know each other. We had a few contacts, but now we can really say that we really know each other in the Baltic Sea region. And we're trying now, we have a newsletter going out between national networks. Hopefully that is spread. I think even in Poland there was a suggestion, or it's even in practice, that it's translated into Polish and spread. We're working on getting a website going this year, and we want to continue to meet between the eco-villages. Like you heard today, we will be meeting as a back-to-back just after this conference in Melki's eco-village. And so this is what we have today. We have established eco-village NGOs in 3 countries, and we're in the process of getting these in the other countries. There is actually established organizations in Norway and Denmark, even if we don't have a lot of contact with them, and the process is going on in the other countries. So, what about influencing? This is what Maxi was talking about, was influencing, and we have these policy recommendations that Michael and Jarkko talked about. These have to be pushed now. Who's going to push them? I think you can print them in a nice document, but the ones who have to be pushing them is the eco-villages themselves. So we can thank the academics for putting this together for us, but someone has to push it, and I think it is the Baltic Eco-Village Network needs to push it, and the national networks need to push it, and maybe even Jen at the European level needs to push it. And try to get some changes in laws and regulations. We will continue. We have a few months left of Ecovillages project, but we have a new project, Reels, that is also going to help in mobilizing and networking, especially for Belarus, because Belarus, actually, it was decided that Ben has 11 countries, not the same as the Baltic, the Council of Baltic Sea States. We don't have Iceland, but we have Belarus instead as the potential members. And we really need some help networking and organizing in Belarus, and I think Reels will be able to do this to help find more people and more connection with Belarus. And then we have the Test 1 project that is still ongoing, and the Test 2 project that is coming. So there is support for continued work of Baltic Eco-Village Network in the future, and support for national networks. And what are we supposed to be doing? Policy change and investment. These are scary words even for me. Policy change, figuring out how to affect national policy and EU policy. We have to figure that out. We have to push for these changes. And investment, I didn't feel very comfortable with the word investment 3 years ago, but I really see that we must find ways where mainstream society will help eco-villages in the Baltic Sea region invest and build things, and build new buildings, new businesses, new houses. This is what we need. You know, we need, we heard Kalle talking earlier today about enterprise in eco-villages. We will transform the Baltic Sea region through green business, and these green businesses need some investment, and we need in our eco-villages businesses that will help transform society. So we need to get these things, and to get these things we need resources, and resources right now means projects. Businesses can give us resources in the long run, but right now we really need more projects to get the eco-village movement stronger. And we have, I think there's all possibility to make a Ecovillages 2, because you see the work is not done, but there's also possibility for regional development, social and youth projects, climate environment projects, tourism and eco-innovation projects. So there's a lot of potential that I feel is our obligation. We need to do something to get where we should be, to go forward. And that is where I would like to leave it, and I hope you continue to discuss this over the dinner tonight and come with ideas and inspirations. And like I said, we will be meeting this weekend in Melki's Ecovillage to say what is the next step for the Baltic Ecovillage movement. Thank you.